Alright, here we go. Get comfortable. No, wait. Get uncomfortable, because if you've clicked on this, it's probably because you need a swift kick to the gut to get your life together. Not sugarcoating it today, bruh. You're lazy. Yep, I said it. You're lazy because, frankly, you don't respect yourself enough. Period. If you're sitting on your butt thinking everything will work out magically one day, you're delusional. A 2020 study by the American Psychological Association found that procrastination is on the rise, with 20% of adults admitting they're chronic procrastinators. And, frankly, no one cares. You think the universe owes you a break because you're tired? Tired of what, exactly? Being a waste of space? Get up, right now. I'll wait. No? You're still sitting there watching? Thought so. You really thought I was here to blow smoke up your butt with some "you got this" nonsense? Please. If you think a cute motivational meme is all it takes to turn your life around, you're already lost. According to research published in the Harvard Business Review, self-help content rarely sparks lasting action, and any motivation you do get usually fades within hours. Honestly, you're not even close to being ready to stop disappointing yourself, let alone everyone else who's watching you flop through life. But screw it. I'm going to break it down for you anyway. Follow these steps and maybe, just maybe, you'll finally stop being the human version of a dead battery. Step 1. Admit you're a joke. All those times you've made promises to yourself, I'll start that project tomorrow, I'll hit the gym next week, I'm gonna really focus on my goals now, they were lies. Psychologists call it cognitive dissonance, when you trick yourself into believing you're doing better than you really are to avoid facing your failures. Turns out, you didn't just lie to other people, you lied to yourself. You told yourself you could do more, be more, but where are you now? Curled up in a ball, scrolling on your phone like a professional idiot. Worse still, you accepted it. You've somehow convinced yourself that you're allowed to procrastinate your life away because you deserve it. Deserve what exactly? A gold medal in napping? A participation trophy for not even showing up to your own life? Step 2. Realize no one cares about your feelings. Nobody's losing sleep over the fact that you're not getting stuff done. Research from the University of Chicago shows that people overestimate how much others think about them. It's called the spotlight effect. The universe just doesn't care. Your friends don't care, and your future self is sitting in the corner, face-palming every time you choose Netflix over your goals. You know what successful people do? They get up and work. Not because they're feeling particularly inspired, but because they respect themselves enough to do what needs to be done. You can feel unmotivated, uninspired, bored, or even overwhelmed, because God forbid you actually have too much going on, right? Newsflash. Nobody cares. Your dreams don't care if you're not in the mood. Your future doesn't care if you'd rather sleep in. The only thing that cares about your feelings is your couch. Stop looking for sympathy and start looking for a solution. Step number 3. Stop worshipping laziness like it's self-care. Let's talk about this new breed of laziness you've wrapped up in a pretty bow and called self-care. You're not recharging your soul by lying around doing nothing. No, you're just lazy, and you've dressed it up in Instagram-worthy terminology. Self-care is important, but facts show that productivity and self-discipline play a bigger role in long-term happiness. The University of Melbourne found that achieving goals has a stronger positive impact on emotional well-being than avoiding stress. Here's just one ugly truth. There is nothing noble about laziness. You're not a misunderstood intellectual waiting for inspiration to strike. You're just a slacker who would rather eat Doritos in bed than get up and take control of your life. Stop pretending that doing nothing is an act of self-love. Real self-love is kicking your own self into gear when you know you're slacking. It's doing the hard things because you care about your future. You want to treat yourself? Get something done. That's the real treat. Step number 4, you've got more time than you think. You just suck at using it. You've got the same 24 hours as Billie Eilish, yet somehow you're struggling to do the bare minimum. Studies show that the average adult spends over 3 hours a day on their phone, and for younger folks, that number jumped to 4 hours in 2023. You say you don't have time? Wrong! You have plenty of time, you just choose to waste it. You spend 3 hours watching random strangers argue over dumb things on Twitch, and another 2 hours staring at a wall, pretending to plan for your future. The truth is, if you spent half as much time actually working as you do making excuses, you'd be a powerhouse by now. Do you know what happens when you don't respect your time? Nothing. And that's exactly what's happening in your life. Nothing. You're standing still while the world spins, and soon enough, you're going to look up and realize you've wasted months, years, even decades will pass. And Psychology Today says procrastination leads to regret for 52% of people. 52%! That's a whole lot of number. You're not too busy, you're just bad at managing your time. Fix it! Step number 5. Stop waiting for motivation. It's not coming. Stop waiting for some magical moment where everything in your brain clicks and you're suddenly supercharged with energy and determination. That moment doesn't exist. According to James Clear, author of Atomic Habits, motivation is unreliable. It's habits that get things done. Motivation is like a flaky friend who never shows up when you need them. You can't depend on it. Motivation will leave you hanging every time. You've got to be your own ride or die. Whether you're motivated or not, the grind doesn't care. Do it anyway. The difference between successful people and losers? Successful people act even when they don't feel like it. Step number 6, set the bar higher than rock bottom. Do you even realize how low you've set the bar? You give yourself a round of applause for getting out of bed before noon? You celebrate when you finally answer those texts from a week ago? Wow, really striving for greatness, aren't you? Your bar is so low, it's practically underground. Psychologist Dr. Angela Duckworth, in her book Grit, explains that high achievers set challenging goals for themselves and don't get comfortable with mediocrity. You need to raise the stakes, challenge yourself, stop being content with just existing. Existing isn't enough. No one's going to remember you for that. You want to be remembered for something, right? Then act like it. That's where growth happens. You've been playing it safe, which is why you're stuck. Step number 7, get addicted to action. You know what's better than the dopamine hit you get from scrolling through your phone for hours? The dopamine hit you get from actually doing something. Neuroscientists say dopamine spikes when we work toward goals, creating a positive loop that makes us want to keep going. Accomplishing things feels good. The more you act, the more you'll want to keep going. Get addicted to progress. Stop waiting for some perfect moment to start. The perfect moment doesn't exist. You've been stalling on the runway of life for way too long. And finally, step number 8, cut the crap and commit. Here's the bitter truth you ain't gonna tell yourself, but luckily, I'm here to tell you. You're either going to change or you're not. And if you don't, it's nobody's fault but yours. You can't keep hiding behind excuses. It's on you, and it always has been. You've got 2 choices. Stay lazy or stop being lazy. It's that simple. It is revealed that only 8% of people achieve their New Year's goals because most don't truly commit to making lasting change. You say you want more of your life, then act like it. You say you respect yourself, then prove it. Now, scratch everything I just said. Yeah, you heard me. Forget the whole rant, because at the end of the day, it's not about beating yourself up for being lazy. Maybe, just maybe, all you need is to pause for a moment and actually breathe. You're human, and life's hard. Sometimes sitting around doing nothing is exactly what you need. Maybe you've been grinding so hard that you've burned out. And what you really need is to give yourself a break. Studies show stress and burnout can lead to procrastination as your brain looks for relief. So sit on the couch, watch that Netflix series, or take an extra nap. Hell, order that pizza. Self-care isn't laziness, and rest isn't failure. But here's the catch. Do it with intention. If you're going to rest, then rest like it's the most productive thing you're doing. If you're going to hustle, then hustle like you mean it. The secret to unlazying yourself? Actually, there is no secret to unlazying yourself. It's about balance, knowing when to push and when to pause. In fact, research from the Journal of Happiness Studies shows that people who find that balance between productivity and rest are happier and more fulfilled than those who only focus on one or the other. In the end, you're not lazy. You're just not aligned. Figure out what fires you up and go chase that. Rest when you need to, push when you need to, and stop calling yourself lazy. At the end of the day, it's all in you. So yeah, scratch that tough love crap, just start respecting yourself enough to know when to hustle and when to rest. And maybe that's how you unlazy yourself